In 2008, was paper titled Building and Stopping Next Generation XSS Bomb. Several bomb XSS cases are mentioned. The most famous real case is MySpace, which is an organization. It completely gets shut down due to the XSS. A very interesting story. A well-known social networking site in 2005, a 19-year-old named Sami Kamkar found an XSS vulnerability on the profile page. He used the vulnerability to make victims add him as a friend and then injected XSS payload into their profiles. As a result, within 18 hours, over 1 million users were affected, causing MySpace to temporarily shut down the website to remove these infected profiles. How severe this vulnerability can be, you imagine. So before I go details and everything, so the impact of the vulnerability can be huge, but unfortunately this is misunderstood among the industry due to the cause that everybody is getting XSS1 and not proving the impact in a better way. So there are some of these organizations and some of the developers and engineers don't know the impact of this vulnerability. So make sure if you found this vulnerability, so before going anything else, make sure to properly demonstrate the impact, what cause it can do. So for that, we are going to dive into the history of the XSS vulnerability. The origin of XSS vulnerability: in 2009, Microsoft MSDN blog published an article titled Happy 10th Birthday Cross-Site Scripting. You can see this was the article. It was written in 2009. Why I am referring this? Because it is saying happy birthday cross-site scripting, mean 10th birthday, mean it was existed in 1999. It was born in 1999. It's referring like that. So this indicating that XSS has born 1999, which was previous century, not 2000. And the funny thing, the article ends with a statement hoping for the death of XSS for the upcoming 10 years later. So it is suggesting here, you can see, let's hope that 10 years from now we will be celebrating the death, not the birth of cross-site scripting. And you know what? It's still getting exploited. It still exists. So that's not the case, fortunately for us, unfortunately for the industry guys who are defensive side. But for the offensive side, we can say that this is fortunate. But you might be wondering that what XSS is actually, and I want to know this vulnerability. This is a fantastic vulnerability. You should to get excited because it's like a puzzle. When I solve these CTF and find these vulnerabilities, I found like solving a puzzle, some sort of Sudoku or some sort of that type of a puzzle where you have to somehow get the pop alert from the input box and you will pass and you will win. Like this is some type of that kind of a game puzzle type. But XSS stands for cross-site scripting. It's not called CSS because CSS already stands for cascading style sheets. Like it's the website sudoku.com, which is being styled like new page button is being styled and the color of the tournament button is already styled and everything is being styled with CSS. So the CSS name was not taken because XSS basically the name come from, we should not conflict with the name of CSS, which is also a technology of the front end. So many XSS attacks are not limited to be cross-site scripting. I'll explain the difference between site and origin later because this is a very specific term. What is site and what is origin, right? We will not go in depth, but for sure we will go just the basic explanation of what is site, website, and what is origin, right? Not very much detail. We'll just explore their definitions on, not very much, right? So here it is saying site, an area of, it's not mean in front end. Yep. In front end, I mean, what is site? Because its name is cross-site scripting. So what we need to understand what actually the site is in terms of web technology, web tech, right? So that we can get prestigious, exact answer. In technology, site is the most commonly used abbreviations for the websites, like which is a collection of related web pages, resources like images and videos. But this is not the actual, difference, technical difference. Here you can see this is the keywords. It is domain name, so URL. Each site has a unique web address like www.example.com, www.example.com URL, and everything else is same site if they have the example.com or www.example.com, like same domain and same subdomain as well, top level domain and subdomain. And the second thing, in we will see that origin in terms of tech, web tech, and you will see the difference between what in web technology. The origin is a fundamental security concept that defines identity and scope of web content, like schema protocol. It's totally depends what it is, here in the URL, HTTPS or HTTP or something like that. It ensures that this website has HTTPS, so it's cross origin, and if it's HTTP, it's not cross origin, right? So these are the things you have to keep in mind. Other simple example of an XSS vulnerability, I'll show you that. Here you can see that this is a PHP website code which is like hello world, and get parameter is taking the name attribute, name parameter, and inside that these are reflecting on the page like this. Simply like here you can see hello. If I give a params like name and here equal to test, you will see that it's getting reflected on the page. So basically this PHP code does the same. And what if I give inside the name parameter simply like something this, and it may render inside the page and give you the alert. Sometimes it will give you right, like here you can see it is saying that the name is equal to it's the script, but you are going to see where our script is going. Our script is going inside this alert function, but it's not triggering the alert. Here is the reason. We will explore it later, right? So this is, this code is vulnerable for the XSS vulnerability. Here you can see the index.php name is equal to Holly, where it is explicitly, it's expecting a name. Someone will come and give the name, and his profile or his article will render. But what if an attacker can give a script alert and this appears inside the page like we have seen, and this can trigger the XSS. This can trigger the XSS vulnerability or something like that. So what we learned, that the XSS means to getting execution of the JavaScript on the page, like in this page, if we somehow manage to alert this function of the JavaScript, which is built in and is available at every page of the browser, so we are going to get an XSS alert, and this will be XSS, because getting execution of the JavaScript somehow. So JavaScript has the power to send cookies to our website, our server, attacker server, and JavaScript has the power to do nasty things. So the other thing which we should do, almost XSS example demonstrate the execution of alert 1 to prove the code execution capability. That's what we are expecting in an XSS vulnerability. If it is not able to execute in the code, so that means it's not an XSS vulnerability. But do not assume that XSS is limited to this. It's just for the demonstration purpose that we are going to alert this function. It's just a demonstration that this vulnerability exists. It just proves that this vulnerability exists, but it's not guaranteed that it's exploitable or not. So once XSS is achieved, once JavaScript execution is achieved, it means that the code can be executed on someone else's website. So this is just a proof, allowing for various actions. For example, stealing everything stored in the local storage. So where it's a common term, it's a common norm that in the storage and the local storage here, most of the time cookies and some things get stored. So if we somehow manage to get an execution of the JavaScript, we can steal these cookies, and we can steal the cookies as well. We can steal the local storage data, which is pretty bad, right? Which may include authentication tokens. I have literally seen in real world bug bounty websites which are storing their tokens inside this local storage, and I have exploited these and it was fun. We will definitely um, explore this later. Right, with the stolen token one can log into the website using someone else's identity. Right, this is pretty much bad. That's why some people advocate storing authentication token in cookies rather than local storage. So always remember that it's a thumb rule that do not store your cookies or tokens inside the local storage. Generally cookies are getting stored in local storage, but tokens should be kept inside the cookies, not inside the local storage. So that's the thing, because it can be stolen. But if the cookie has the http only flag, http only flag is a thing. If I just may give http only, right, http only cookie or http only flag, so you will be able to see a security attribute for the web cookies that prevents them from being accessed by client-side scripting like JavaScript, making them inaccessible like document.cookie. So here we have just shown you a simple basic self-access vulnerability. It's a self-access, it's not actual vulnerability. What if I did this? Because what if I did origin? What origin? And here you can see that it's popping up my origin, which is the URL of the website. Which is we have seen what is the origin in a few minutes before. So here you can see that it's popping. What if I try document.cookie? But unfortunately in this page there doesn't have any cookie available, so it will not pop anything special. But if you give this to a website like something, here I'll specify like this one, like my X website I'm going to give. By the way, if you haven't followed me on X, so make sure to go and follow me there as well, where I always hang around with other hackers and share my tips at there. So make sure to check my X as well.